Welcome to MedTech Crossroads. We're going to do Device Talks Boston 2026 in like 3 minutes. I just returned from Device Talks Boston 2026, and 3 themes showed up again and again across the sessions: investment, artificial intelligence, and why healthcare innovation so often fails to scale. Let's start with investment. The mood in med device remains optimistic, but investors are increasingly concerned about what some speakers called the early-stage funding chasm. Venture dollars continue to flow into AI companies, often at valuations that traditional medtech startups can only dream about. Meanwhile, many early-stage device companies are finding it harder than ever to raise seed and Series A funding. What's interesting is that the shortage doesn't appear to be in entrepreneurs. Speakers repeatedly noted that there are still plenty of talented founders tackling important clinical problems. The concern is whether enough capital exists to help those companies survive long enough to reach strategic investors and acquirers. The second major theme was artificial intelligence. But not all AI is created equal. The good AI stories focused on AI that helps clinicians make better decisions. We saw examples from interventional cardiology, imaging, and surgical systems where AI identifies patterns, highlights important information, and reduces interpretation burden. In these examples, the physician remains firmly in control, while AI acts as an intelligent assistant. The bad AI stories weren't really about bad technology. They were about bad expectations. Several speakers warned that many people are using the term AI without clearly understanding what problem it solves. Others cautioned that agentic AI that seeks a solution and other autonomous systems are not yet ready for many mission-critical medical decisions because regulators and clinicians and patients rightly require predictable, explainable, and more than anything, validatable behavior. One speaker put it well: AI should be helping clinicians make decisions, not replacing them. A third theme also stood out. Why do so many healthcare pilots fail to scale? One panel argued that the biggest mistake medtech companies make is assuming that a successful pilot guarantees clinical adoption, and it does not. A pilot often has enthusiastic physician champions, dedicated vendor support, and ideal conditions. But when the technology moves into broader clinical practice, that's when reality sets in. Nurses may not like it, administrators may not like it, and physicians who never asked for the technology, and even some who did, may quietly stop using it. The panel called this the physician veto, not because doctors are opposed to innovation, but because healthcare is ultimately a workflow business. If a technology disrupts workflow, creates friction, or lacks reimbursement support, it often fails, regardless of how impressive the technology may be. So what's the takeaway for your startup medical device initiative? Let's boil it down to this. Innovation alone is no longer enough. The winners will be companies that can secure capital in between the seed and later stages, apply AI intriguingly but responsibly, and that can design solutions that fit naturally into clinical workflows. At Intubeing, we're proud to develop amazing products for our clients, but we recognize that the hardest problem isn't always building the technology. It's getting people to use it. That's why at Intubeing, we routinely encourage our clients to engage their market, sometimes through formal usability testing and sometimes through old-fashioned dialogue. This increases the likelihood of your solution being integrated and used in the market. And that's your Device Talks in 3 minutes recap from Boston 2026. Thanks for watching MedTech Crossroads.